Top 10 Most Expensive Mistakes in History. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're taking a thrilling journey through time, exploring the top 10 most expensive mistakes in history. Brace yourselves as we delve into the shocking blunders and colossal errors that cost civilizations and individuals fortunes beyond imagination. Number 1. The sinking of the Titanic in 1912, which resulted in a monetary loss of $7.5 million. Titanic's loss in 1912 was one of the worst maritime catastrophes in history. On her maiden voyage from Southampton to New York, the irrepressible ocean liner collided with an iceberg and murdered 1,500 people. The construction and operation costs of the ship totaled nearly $7.5 million, which when adjusted for inflation is equivalent to approximately $190 million in current dollars. In addition to the human cost, the financial loss was substantial. The accident prompted a slew of inquiries and changes to marine safety rules, emphasizing the need for more lifeboats and improved communication systems at sea. The Titanic disaster serves as a chilling reminder for the repercussions of arrogance and indifference in the face of impending hazards. Number 2. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010, which cost BP $65 billion in cleanup and compensation costs. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010 damaged BP or British Petroleum. The BP-operated Deepwater Horizon exploded in the Gulf of Mexico while digging an exploration well. Millions of barrels of crude oil fouled the Gulf after a massive explosion and spill. The spill devastated marine life, coastal ecosystems, and fishing and tourism-dependent industries. BP spent $65 billion on cleaning and compensation. Governments and impacted towns sued and fined the corporation, damaging its image. The Deepwater Horizon disaster serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of strict safety measures in high-risk industries and the dire consequences when such measures are not adequately followed. Number 3. The Iraq War, which cost the US government an estimated $2.4 trillion. The Iraq War was a military engagement between the United States and Iraq that began in 2003 and endured for over 10 years. Since the United States and its coalition partners were concerned about the regime's support for terrorism and possession of WMDs, the primary objectives of the war were to disarm Iraq and overthrow Saddam Hussein's dictatorship. The Iraq War was very expensive financially. The US government invests approximately $2.4 trillion in war-related activities, according to estimates. This sum encompasses a variety of expenses such as military operations, post-conflict reconstruction projects, humanitarian aid programs, and the provision of long-term healthcare services for veterans. Number 4. The Chernobyl disaster in 1986, which cost an estimated $235 billion in damages. On April 26, 1986, Ukraine's Chernobyl nuclear power plant suffered a terrible nuclear disaster, one of the deadliest nuclear disasters ever. Flawed reactor design and safety test failures triggered the explosion and radioactive release. The economic burden of the Chernobyl tragedy was enormous. It included elements such as emergency response, containment attempts, cleanup operations, and long-term mitigating measures. Damages were anticipated to cost around $235 billion. Chernobyl had a far-reaching influence. Radioactive materials released across Europe contaminated millions of people. A huge exclusion zone around the facility made significant regions unusable for a long time. Number 5. The 2008 financial crisis, which cost the global economy an estimated $15 trillion. The 2008 financial crisis, often known as the Global Financial Crisis or GFC, was a catastrophic downturn of the global economy with far-reaching implications. It all began with the United States housing bubble burst, which shocked the world's financial system and sparked a global recession. The worldwide economy was devastated by the financial crisis, with estimates estimating losses of approximately $15 trillion. This statistic covers a variety of causes such as asset price declines, bank failures, Government bailouts decreased consumer spending and growing unemployment rates in several months. The crisis highlighted flaws in the global financial system, such as hazardous lending practices, complex financial products, and insufficient regulatory monitoring. It spurred governments and central banks all around the world to take unprecedented steps to stabilize financial markets and encourage economic development. Number 6. The failure of Kodak to embrace digital photography, which led to the company's bankruptcy and a loss of $30 billion in market value. Kodak's inability to adapt to digital photography has dire implications. Film-based cameras and devices made Kodak a photographic powerhouse. The corporation missed the promise of digital photography in the 1990s. Kodak's film sales plummeted as digital cameras became popular, and the corporation struggled to compete in the digital market. Kodak's digital breakthroughs and products weren't enough to keep it in the market. The failure to embrace digital photography had severe financial repercussions for Kodak. The company's market worth dropped by an estimated $30 billion, eventually contributing to its bankruptcy in 2012. The bankruptcy was a tremendous setback for a once iconic company that had helped shape the photographic business. This story serves as a sharp reminder to businesses of the significance of remaining adaptable, embracing technology improvements, and inventing consistently to suit changing customer demands. Even for well-established organizations with a strong history and brand presence, failing to adapt to new technology can have disastrous effects. Number 7. The failure of Blockbuster to acquire Netflix, which led to the company's bankruptcy and a loss of $1.1 billion in market value. Blockbuster not being able to buy Netflix is a standard example of a missed chance and an inability to change with the times in the entertainment business. In the early 2000s, Netflix was a growing business that rented DVDs by mail, while Blockbuster was the market leader with its brick-and-mortar stores. Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings offered Blockbuster $50 million to buy his firm in 2000. Blockbuster denied the offer, underestimating streaming technologies and digital distribution. Blockbuster concentrated on rentals and late fees, while Netflix invested in its streaming platform and subscription model. Netflix quickly gained subscribers by making watching films and TV shows easier and cheaper. Blockbuster lost market share due to its inability to compete. Blockbuster went bankrupt in 2010, losing $1.1 billion in market value. Number 8. The Y2K bug, which cost an estimated $308 billion to fix. As 2000 neared, the Y2K problem, commonly known as the Millennium Problem, worried computer programmers. Many computer systems and software programs used only the final two numbers. For example, given is 99 for 1999, which caused the problem. Thus, there were concerns that these systems might read 2000 as 1900, creating industry disruptions and problems. To address this problem, organizations and governments around the world undertook extensive efforts to identify and rectify the Y2K bug in their computer systems. This process involved reviewing and updating code, upgrading hardware and software, and conducting thorough testing to ensure systems would function correctly after the year 2000. The cost of fixing the Y2K bug was substantial, with estimates reaching around $308 billion. However, the investment was deemed necessary to prevent potential widespread computer failures that could have disrupted essential services and financial systems. Number 9. The cancellation of the Supersonic Transporter SST program in 1971, which cost the US government $1.5 billion in development costs. The 1960 US Supersonic Transporter SST program sought to construct a supersonic passenger aircraft. The SST program developed a commercial aircraft that could fly faster than sound to cut long-distance travel times. The US government contributed significantly to the SST program, providing funding for extensive R&D and testing. But as the program went on, it ran into a lot of difficulties and barriers. Concerns were expressed concerning the high operational costs of supersonic travel, sonic boom noise pollution over populated areas, and environmental effects. In 1971, the US government took the tough decision to stop the SST program because of these concerns and rising financial limitations. The project was cancelled after an estimated $1.5 billion in development expenditures, making it one of the most expensive cancelled projects in US aviation history. Number 10. The loss of the Mars Climate Orbiter in 1999, caused by a conversion error between metric and imperial units, cost NASA $327.6 million. The Mars Climate Orbiter's loss in 1999 was a tragic tragedy that occurred during NASA's Mars exploration program. The mission aimed to study the Martian climate and atmosphere, but faced a devastating failure due to a critical mix-up between metric and imperial units in the spacecraft's navigation software. The software used by the Mars Climate Orbiter team provided thrust commands in metric units, while the spacecraft's thrusters were designed to interpret these commands in imperial units. This discrepancy caused the spacecraft to approach Mars at a lower altitude than intended during its orbital insertion, leading to a disastrous outcome. This navigation error caused the Mars Climate Orbiter to enter the Martian atmosphere at too shallow an angle and either burn up or skip back into space, never to be seen again. We appreciate your company. If you liked this video, like, subscribe, and press that notification bell for more amazing historical disclosures. Till next time, remember the history, enjoy the present, and build a better future. Be intrigued.